Ruben, so many positives, so much good against Nottingham Forest, but the two things that we saw where Manchester United conspired against themselves is two bad habits that you're trying to break, which is conceding first and then curing being really poor in the final third. So, how do you go about trying to fix those problems?
The Conceding first, if you look at our season, we improve in that department because we are more focused. But every time we disconnect a little bit, and you can look at the goal against Nottingham was a disconnection. We are there, is a corner, and then we have players for second ball, and then you suffer a goal, and then the game change. You know, that is something that we work on every day in every exercise. No matter if it's a passing drill, they need to be focused. So we try that, and then in the offense, we try to put the players in that position a lot of time during training.
There's so much attacking quality in this team and different sort of dynamic of profiles. Is it more a psychological thing, the issues in the final third where players perhaps are snatching or they're desperate or it's just not flowing, so they're not as calm as they should be in terms of their decision making?
I think they need to spend more time in that position because some of the games we didn't have a lot of games like Nottingham, like just attacking.
Yeah.
We have to spend more time there. And also in that moment, if you look at Rasmus and Josh and Garner, they want this. They try to shoot, especially Garner. They want really bad, but we are not doing the things with the quality that it should do.
As a head coach, when you've got such a big game coming up against Lyon that could potentially rescue, define this season, but also be so helpful for the future if United go on to win the Europa League, how do you control the messaging around it so that your players still sort of stay level?
That is something that, of course, I'm new in Premier League, but if you are a coach and you are playing in Europa League or Champions League, and then you have to win your league, I had that experience. So it's easier for me. It's like a natural way of working, but the message is just full focus on this game. I don't talk about the next game. So that is the way of me to prepare the players. So let's focus on this game, and then we think about Lyon.
I know you want to focus on the games, but we have a huge summer coming up for Manchester United, and fans will laugh because it seems like every summer we say this is the biggest summer for Manchester United, but it's a really important one because it would allow the basis for you to build what you really want to see. And you've told us already that for you, improvement has to start from next season. You're not thinking about years in advance. So, from your perspective, how vital is getting things right this summer, especially in terms of recruitment?
I think it's crucial. I think it's we are trying to do everything as soon as possible. If you look at the schedule of teams, we will not have the World Cup of clubs, so that means that we are going to have a preseason. If you look at the next years, we are going to have a World Cup, then European Championship. So we'll have this window is going to be massive to work on our base. So I think it's clear for everybody here that is going to be crucial, and we have to take advantage of that. We will not have a next preseason. It will not be like that. So we need to do everything soon as possible to be prepared for having everybody for the preseason to start. After a season like this, we need to show something. That is not a debatable. So I don't want that conversation of we need a lot of time. We need time, maybe to win the league, but we need to improve a lot this season.
Interesting there, because in England there's such a huge focus on transfers and you'll be exposed to it in the summer. Whereas a lot of coaches and managers express the need to see improvement on the training pitch. Like that has to be often even more important than recruitment.
I think everything is connected. You need to be really good on every department, especially in this league. You need to, of course, you need to be really good on the pitch. You need to improve our players, but you also, especially in moments like our club, recruitment can change the way we go forward. and can be crucial. So when I say about recruitment, is not just, and we have to use that as a club, not just the big names and to spend a lot of money. It's not that. Sometimes a player with 17 years old that is in another top club and is finished contract, we can use the Manchester United brand to bring that kids. It's sometimes the recruitment is that. Pay attention to these kids that have a lot of talent, doesn't have the space in different clubs, to try to bring them here. And then the academy, we are improving that. You can see that we have some players with quality.
I like the fact that you don't shirk the challenge. Like you say, this club is a huge club. We want to win things. I'm in a rush to win things. So instead of other people putting the pressure on you, you're doing it to yourself because you want to deliver.
I think it's also my job. And also, I know myself quite well. I cannot spend a lot of time in the halfway. I know myself. I'm not going to handle this type of life. So I'm all forward, and I really think that in the future we can win Premier League. I don't know when. It's going to take time. You can see the club, but I want to put that pressure on myself because I will not stay in the middle ground and try to use excuses. Is not in me, and I know that I'm not going to handle this kind of life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ruben.
The stats that show Bruno Fernandes is one of the Premier League's greatest ever playmakers as he continues to carry Man United after Bruno Fernandes put the gloss on yet another superb individual display for Manchester United in the 3-0 win at Leicester. The 3,000-strong away section serenaded him with a passionate rendition of the song dedicated to their captain. "He's our Portuguese Magnifico," goes the last line of the chant. Magnifico, indeed. Fernandes had just scored his 16th goal of the season, which came after he had provided his 14th and 15th assists of a campaign that is threatening to rival his best in a United shirt. The Portuguese star's 31 goal involvements are behind only Mohamed Salah 54, who is almost single-handedly propelling Liverpool to the Premier League title, and Manchester City's Erling Haaland 33. Since moving to Old Trafford in a deal worth up to €68 million in January 2020, Fernandes has registered 80 assists in all competitions. Only Kevin De Bruyne, widely considered as one of the best of his generation, has more with 90. Fernandes' second assist in the cruise control victory at Leicester on Sunday put him in the illustrious company of Wayne Rooney, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham in being the only United players to score 50 goals and make 50 assists in the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes put in another superb performance in Man United's 3-0 win at Leicester. Fernandes swept home United's third, which came after he had set up their first 2 goals. United's captain now has 16 goals and 15 assists in Ruben Amorim's struggling side. The 30-year-old also now has 112 league goal involvements, the 10th most for the club, having scored 62 goals and made 50 assists. In total, he has scored 95 goals and made 81 assists in 277 appearances for United. Even the Portuguese's most ardent detractors, perhaps including Roy Keane, would accept these are impressive numbers, especially considering Fernandes is playing in a United team his own manager Ruben Amorim has described as maybe the worst in the club's history. His statistics are up there with the very best playmakers in Premier League history, even a prime De Bruyne. The Belgian has 118 assists and 70 goals in the league for Man City, compared to 50 and 62, respectively, for Fernandes. The United captain, however, has created the most chances of any player in the last 10 seasons of the competition with 505, 13 ahead of De Bruyne. An assist or goal is more valuable, but it is not his fault that he has not had the caliber of striker that De Bruyne has to put away those opportunities. Fernandes also has the most goals and assists combined, 41, 24 goals and 17 assists, of any player in the history of the Europa League. He deserves more than Europe's second-tier tournament. But the midfielder's influence on United goals far beyond goals, assists and chances created. Fernandes' numbers are rivaling the great Premier League playmakers, including Kevin De Bruyne, but Fernandes has faced fierce criticism from the likes of ex-United captain Roy Keane. The Portuguese star's stunning form included a hat-trick in the 4-1 victory over Real Sociedad. Fernandes is without doubt United's best player. He is the beating heart of the team. Everything goes through him, whether he is in the deeper role under Amorim or further forward as a number 10. His commitment also cannot be questioned. Late on in the recent win over Ipswich, when United played with 10 men for almost an hour, it was a clearly exhausted Fernandes who had chased back to stop a dangerous move before attempting to launch a counter-attack of his own. In the second half at Leicester, it was Fernandes sprinting to cover his defenders after Fox's goalkeeper Mads Hermansen had attempted to catch them out by launching a long ball forward. And in the dying stages of the 4-1 victory over Real Sociedad in the Europa League at Old Trafford on Thursday, it was Fernandes busting a gut to get in the box, complete his hat-trick and seal progression to the quarter-finals in a season-saving win. Yet there are still those, including in the club's own fanbase, who do not hold Fernandes in the same esteem and believe his attitude is not befitting of the position of captain. Keane's main gripe in his now infamous, explosive rant about Fernandes, which the Portuguese gave a near pitch-perfect response to after the Leicester game, was his supposed lack of leadership, a view shared by a minority of United supporters. Yes, he can be petulant. Amorim himself has publicly admitted the player throws his arms about a bit too much, and there are times when his on-field conduct causes even his biggest supporters to wince. But he leads in other ways. He leads by guiding the club's young players and by being the shining light during the 20-time champions' darkest days.